And it is that time for Roundtable Live here at Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com. Be rolling on until 4 a.m. in the morning Eastern Time. New ideas, different hosts every night, different subjects every night. You never know what's going to happen right here at the Roundtable Live. King Arthur has nothing on us. We're going round and round.
West Coast of Orange County, California. From the Pacific perspective to the Atlantic perspective. From liberal craziness to conservative idealism. From Christianity to atheism belief systems. Welcome to the TheGrayZone Roundtable with Rectify and Wingman at Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com.
revolution-radio.com.
I have identified 5 stages of awakening. I feel that it is incredibly important for you to know this process so as to make the most of each stage and get through them as quick as possible. This entire project is centered on this process, and I have taken great care to put the information in the order that I wish I had learned it. I feel this will allow the individual to deal with the new reality in a safe environment that also ensures a successful awakening. The awakening process mirrors Elizabeth Kubler-Ross's 5 stages of grief, which many of you might be familiar with. The reason why they mirror is because it is literally your old self dying, so that a totally free, new self can be born. Your body will physically and mentally react as if there was a real death in your life. We identify ourselves by what we do, what we wear, and what we drive. When you are awake, none of that will matter. You will transcend the current consumer order and be fully prepared to deal with a new paradigm. I feel it is incredibly helpful for you to understand this process, to not only identify where you are, but where you should be going. I cannot stress to you how important and necessary this process is. If you do not start thinking for yourself, you will be without the skills necessary to survive a post-dollar world. The first stage in the 5 stages of awakening is denial. In this stage, you will dismiss anything that goes counter to conventional wisdom as crazy talk or conspiracy theory. This is really a self-defense mechanism the brain uses to protect the ego. No one likes to admit when they're wrong, much less admit that they have been fooled. So it is infinitely easier to deny a truth rather than it is to embrace it. It is easier to mock than debate. It is easier to hide under the sheets and pretend that there is not a monster in the room. This is where most of our society is stuck right now. They believe that whatever the authorities tell them is the truth. They go along with the crowd in fear of being looked upon as strange or crazy. In my experience, denial comes in 2 forms. First is the most common and least dangerous form of denial. It is just not wanting to know the truth that might upset their happy little life. This innocent denial of ignorance is bliss mentality is held by so many Americans who think that things are going swell for them, so why ruin it with the truth? There was a woman I was working with that literally shut down on me when confronted with the truth. She literally said to me, "I do not want to know because that reality is too scary for me." This form of denial is the easiest to overcome because when things go wrong in their perfect little world, they will have no more excuses to not look for the reason why their world fell apart. There is no more bliss for them to remain ignorant. The economic depression and the political failures of both the Bush and the Obama administration have already shook a great many out of this denial. As long as people believe in absurdities, they will continue to commit atrocities. Voltaire. The second kind of denial is one that is much more pernicious. I view it as guilty denial. This is the denial of people who are actually benefiting off of the illusion of our paradigm. This comes from business owners, government employees, and others whose livelihood is derived off of the current debt paradigm. These people actively fight against the truth through disinformation or saying they just can't keep it a secret or that's just crazy conspiracy talk. They would rather create a plausible deniability to distance themselves from the reality of their actions or inactions. Their aggressive defense of the illusion shows me that they know what they are doing is wrong. They are too afraid to live outside of this paradigm, so it is better to try to hold it together despite its human costs.
And the third kind of denial, of course, is a river in Egypt. Welcome to the Gray Zone. This is Rectify on a July 21st or 22nd, depending on where you are in this blessed world we're living in. I don't know. I like to spell it Hell sometimes. But, I wanted to thank Noreen Helpand from Wild at Heart Roundtable for the props, always for the Gray Zone. She's precedes the show here. We're joined tonight by Wingman. My co-host made it last minute, of course. That's his style, red carpet. What's up, sir? How you doing?
Yeah, very well, thank you. I'm just flicking through a secret alien book at the moment that's describing all these different races. Interesting.
Also, Miss Dorriebar. I know, love Dorriebar.
Hello, everyone. So nice to be here tonight. I guess Hijacker's getting his chickens before the raccoons get them, so.
I heard.
It's gonna be like a 5-minute delay. I didn't know we had chickens. That's cool.
So this is a roundtable. We do take calls, 347-688-2902. 347-688-2902. We shift it around. We give equal opportunity microphone time. And the topic does not have to remain static. It could be dynamic as you'd like it to be. We can talk about how many ply is on your toilet paper roll for all I care. But give us a call. You can also get us at Skype at Freedom Screen, like a screen door, or Ask Jack 666. That's Ask Jack 666. But, we already have a caller from the roundtable before. There was Bruce McDonald, Dude Guy, the Greek, and the Hijacker, which was, a little outrageous, but I'm kind of in a lull mood tonight, so that kind of got my adrenaline pumping. So, wanted to introduce the Hijacker. Long time no speak, brother. How you doing, sir? Hijacker, that's you.
I think he's still getting his chickens, honey. Did you hear what he said?
No.
I gotta get my chickens for the raccoons come.
No,
he said 5 minutes. Yeah, he'll be back in 5 minutes.
I took that as a political.
Okay, hang there. No, that was
exactly
exactly what he said. So just do the doorbell when he comes back.
All right.
And Nora wants to join. She might be eating now because she doesn't eat before her show. So
All right.
she said she will join. So
Sweet.
yes.
Yeah. So what else we got going on? We got stories, but we don't need stories. So Hijacker, Bruce McDonald, Dude Guy, and the Greek. Man, I was preparing the show a little bit, so I didn't get to hear a lot of it. I just heard a bunch of chickens crocking at each other. But, anybody listening? Wingman, Dory?
I'm here.
You guys listening to,
We're listening to you.
to Noreen's show? Okay.
We
I
did
was
listen
there,
to
yeah.
the radio, yes.
All right.
I was enjoying it.
So, what, you guys have the topic they were on, just so I'm not so much in the dark?
Oh, a little bit about Judaism and religion and
Oh, that's...
war, conflict, and yeah.
Yay! Well, I got something fun. I'm gonna actually introduce tonight. It's gonna be an exclusive here on the Gray Zone. Every Monday night, early Tuesday morning, depending on where you live. Check our schedule. It's all in Eastern time. Eastern United States. Yeah, time, Atlantic. However. But yeah, we're gonna do a new little saga here. And it's gonna be called Bump It or Dump It. And it's for all the musicians. We have lots of musicians out there that are associated and are fans of and are listeners to Revolution Radio. And we wanted to kind of exploit that and give advantages out there for maybe producers or managers to possibly hear some good music and grab a hold of you and get you on the party train, maybe get you guys' dreams going. So we're going to do a show called Bump It or Dump It. And it's going to be a segment every week. And we can start tonight, but if you're not prepared, that's fine. This is the announcement. But this is going to entail musicians out there that are unsigned. You can be a solo musician. You can be in a band. Send in your best track. We're going to pick 2 of those best tracks every week. Okay? And we're going to have the callers. We're going to play them both. We're going to have the callers call in, and 2 out of the 3 callers we're going to take are going to either bump it or dump it. So 2 out of 3 wins. If they get bumped, they go on to the next week's competition. And that's going to go on for a few weeks, and we're going to decide what happens at the end. But in the meantime, you're going to be getting heard by many, many thousands of people. So yeah, bump it or dump it. The way you can contact us, the best way is actually through YouTube. I know it sounds kind of cheesy. I haven't got a website together yet, but that is in the making. But yeah, you can hit us up at YouTube at TheGrayZone Radio. That's Gray spelled with an A. That's TheGrayZone Radio. And just go ahead and put a comment in or send a chat or an email, and I am through YouTube, and Wingman or I, Rectify, will get back to you. But yeah, and then we can get that music file over and get a part of that competition going. We'll do a little interview with whoever's submitting the song first. We'll play your song, we'll play the next guy's song, and we'll take the calls. And you either get bumped or dumped. So, how's that sound, guys?
I look forward to it. I might even submit a track myself.
I think it'll be fun. I want to get more interactive.
I know a few. Yeah, you'll never know who it is.
They just can't be signed. They can't have a label. We get in trouble for that stuff.
No, I have cats from back east, yeah.
All right. Sounds good. As long as you can get them on the mic, though. So we got to hear the voice behind the instrument also.
Yeah, do you want them to call in, though?
Oh, yeah.
Get them to call in, yeah. Oh, no, I have a few that are like the bomb in Connecticut, but they almost made it to like RCA and stuff, so.
Yeah, and as long as they have some Skype skills, that's going to be the easiest way, but I can also offer other ways to get the MP3 over, the music file, but it's easiest if you just have Skype. Sounds better also if you're talking to us on Skype, but to get a music file over, it's just dragging and dropping that file right into the text chat. So that's the way it's, the best way we can flow here at the station.
Well, if we can get them to join, that'd be great, but if not, we'll just play it. They'll never know. There's no way.
You're bad.
Well, don't forget Crowded House. I don't know if anybody remembers Crowded House.
Mm-mm.
They started out in New Haven, so you don't know them, but they're like the biggest band in Europe. So yeah.
Oh, that's what we're hoping to do, is spread worldwide art in the shape of music. So that'll be fun.
Cool.
So what else we got in the news? We wanted to also talk about tonight healthcare horror stories. So anybody wanted to call in, have some healthcare horror stories on your mind, numbered again is 347-688-2902. I got a couple of my own. I've gone through 1 or 2 of them before, but there's still more. The hijacker, are you back with us? Yeah, your chicken's still being chased.
He's still gone.
All right. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and save us.
He's got a lot of chickens, so just wait for
save us some phone bill time here. And
would hung up, so maybe his internet, because he was like on shallow talk, I think, so.
Well, he can call back in. We're going to save some bill money because the listeners pay the bills. None of us get paid. We're all listener-funded radio, and it just pays for infrastructure, phone lines, electricity, bandwidth, websites, servers, et cetera, all the hosts, producers, engineers. We're all volunteers. So thank you for donating at freedomslips.com. We also have a merchandise section with pretty cool stuff that help you express yourself. Check that out. And we do annual auctions, if not biannual auctions, which are fun to attend also. So front page, freedomslips.com. You can find all of it there on our rotating banner ad at the top. All station involved, no outside banners. So that being that, news. Illinois legalizes medical marijuana for children with seizures. This is Reuters. Illinois' children and adults with epilepsy will soon be allowed to use marijuana to ease their symptoms under a law signed on Sunday by Democratic Governor Pat Quinn, the latest in a series of measures loosening restrictions on cannabis by U.S. states. The move to add epilepsy and other seizure disorders to the list of conditions legal to treat with marijuana or its extracts comes as numerous states have made medical use of the drug legal. 2 states, Colorado and Washington, have legalized its recreational use. Woo woo! This new law will help alleviate the suffering of many adults and children across the state, Quinn said in a statement. Epilepsy is a debilitating condition, and this much needed relief will help to reduce some of its symptoms for those who endure seizures. The Illinois law, which takes effect in January, would allow children who experience seizures to be treated with non-smokable forms of cannabis, as long as they have permission from a parent. So we're talking edibles. I have a 14-year-old constituent by the name of Hugh who lives with epilepsy, says Republican state lawmaker Jim Durkin. Wow, Republican getting in on this. Okay. Who co-sponsored the new law. His parents, Bob and Kelly, want to provide their son with as much relief as possible. Unfortunately, traditional medications and methods have not worked. He means Western medications, not traditional. The state is putting the final touches on a broader medical marijuana plan, a tightly regulated program whose regulations were finalized just last week. Residents will be allowed to apply for permission to use the drug to treat medical conditions in September, and the full program is expected to be up and running early next year, Quinn spokesman Katie Hickey said on Sunday. So, yeah, that's Reuters. Illinois is allowing edible marijuana for minors that have seizures. Sweet. Hijacker, you're back. And you're front. You're side to side.
Yeah, the world's changing. Unbelievable. Anybody who's like 50 years old or plus, they cannot even believe the world they're in. That's how radically it's changed, Rectify. I think you're like, what, 35 or something?
Yeah, you're close. I've been around the sun 37 times.
Yeah, 37, 38. Yeah, right. I was going to say 38. But, no, very complex world we live in. Absolutely unbelievable. Up is down. I mean, unbelievable that we actually have the Russian president who, Prime Minister, who is, basically, the defender of Christianity and the, supposedly Western morals of the world.
Yeah, it's all a game show. They're all buddies. They're just playing a role just to try to fool us, but I don't think they're going to get away with it this time. But for all you children out there, you young ones, that don't understand, up is now down, down is now up, left is now right, war is now peace, all that stuff. You want to go and rent this film that was made in the 70s called 1984. It was a projection of what the year 1984 would be like. And that's exactly what we're living in right now, is what was projected to be what was supposed to happen in 1984. But because of due diligence of patriots, okay, people like the people here at Revolution Radio, we provide speed bumps against the powers that be and push them back. Okay, so what was foreseen to happen in 1984, which was almost spot on to what's happening right now, we pushed them back to 2014. So you got to give us a little bit of credit for at least being the speed bumps that we are. Because you're not going to stop the inevitable. You can slow it down, though. Go ahead.
Yeah, delay in judgment, buying time. You're right, Rectify. In fact, the Illuminati themselves, some of the whistleblowers that have come out, they said that they projected, in fact, there was some really big event in the year 2000 where they were George Bush was going to attend in Egypt. They were all going to go to where the pyramids were. There was some kind of giant, gold, overlaid cap, that they were actually going to put on the pyramids in, the year 2000. It was supposed to be a big celebration, and the things with, Bill Clinton didn't pan out. They had the contract with America. They had the backlash. and so they got delayed. And so these Illuminati insiders basically said that they are way behind on schedule. In fact, somebody says they can prove it because not only do we have 9/11 that happened in 2001 with the planes crashing into the buildings, and then the Twin Towers coming down, which was an Illuminati occult ritual, but it was supposed to be that George Bush was supposed to basically take over the government, and that's why they had to use the anthrax. Everybody forgets about 3 weeks later, they sent the anthrax to the U.S. senators, they sent them to newspaper editors, a lot of people died, a lot of big people. Now the federal senators, like Orrin Hatch and these people, I can name off a couple, they went ahead and took the anthrax vaccine, but George Bush was basically going to be declared dictator.
Obama?
And go into full-scale martial law, but there was blowback on it, and so they stopped the anthrax stuff. Something came down from the Pope. It's too early, and they got delayed. But basically, we would be under George Bush right now, George W. Bush.
Well, all of his executive orders, we are under still. Patriot Act 1 and 2, which now is just under different executive hands that use the pens. That's the only difference, but there's still powers that were placed by the man. They're still in place.
That's right, and Obama, we now know, is pretty much under the Bush-Cheney cabal right now.
Oh, like I said, they're all... Okay, listen, the entire world's political stage, every one of them, I don't care if they act like they're enemies or not. Think about WWF, or what they call WWE, wrestling these days. Okay, they're all acting in the cage, but when they get backstage, they're patting each other on the back, looking at the cash they made, going having drinks together. Okay, it's all a stage. These people, these politicians, these bureaucrats, most of them are nothing but Hollywood actors that were too ugly for Hollywood, so they got into politics. Because they're really good at acting, a.k.a. lying.
Now, you're right, Rectify, that all of them, that are the leaderships of the great powers, banks, military, high up in the law enforcement. They are of the Canaanite bloodline. There's two bloodlines on the earth. What some people call the reptilian human hybrid. You can see it. You can go online, on the internet. You can see these people's snake-like pupils. They are completely different. Some of them shape-shift depending on their genetics. But you're right, Rectify. They're all on the same page. However, they being pretty much the big, bald alpha males that got to be in charge, they've got to be in control. They are.
Someone's got to crack the whip. I mean, people can get lazy and society can break down if that duality is not maintained. So I do see a reason for them to be here. After all, they were here to be as the watchers of man.
Right. Well, these are the sons and daughters of the Nephilim. So they're all on the same page. However, they have fights among themselves. If you go to the last footage, there was some footage of John F. Kennedy that was released. The footage was released. That was the last footage of John F. Kennedy released. You'll see some close-ups of John F. Kennedy, and you can see he's got the reptilian pupils. But he was all about doing the best he could for people.
Right. I know one of them personally, and not only will they bite your head off if you're in the wrong, but they'll prop you up if you're in the right, and they'll teach you. Okay, that's my point. Is
right, but I'm saying even though John F. Kennedy was among the Canaanite bloodline, he wanted to do what was right for the people. He wanted to make it back to God. Some people say that 2 weeks before he was killed, he actually went to a church. This was reported by Secret Service.
Did a confession, yeah.
Yeah, he made his confession, and he wanted to go back to God, and he accepted Jesus Christ basically as the Lord and Savior, and then he gave his famous secret society speech, did a couple other things, and they finally blew his head off.
Right. Jacker, give me 20 seconds. I got a caller.
go ahead.
604, what's your name and what's on your mind?
My name's Jeffrey. I've called in quite a few times. Hi, yeah. I just want to talk. I can see you're talking about some serious subjects tonight, so I called in because I'm likewise the victim of a very serious electromagnetic attack. And I'm sure you already heard about these targeted individuals, electromagnetic harassment attacks. I've been tortured for more than 2 years now, and I've called in the show regarding this. I've called into other shows, and I've done some interviews regarding it. And a huge majority of these attacks are perpetrated by ETs, believe it or not. And they're using...
Do you have any proof of that?
I don't have a proof per se other than the evidence that already exists. They've used these attacks in the past. The Gnostics spoke of them. They're in the Nag Hammadi as well. And what they're doing to people is they're using these microwave, scalar wave attacks to cause severe pain, burning sensations on the body, and they can also use synthetic telepathy to use the person's own fears against them. So the person will begin to hear vocalizations and a microwave hearing that reflects what they fear the most. And a lot of these people right now in the news, if you've been watching the news, there's an escalation in violent crimes right now, and a lot of these are due to these attacks.
Before you go any further, Jeffrey, I wanted to give all the listeners an example of how the vibration of some sort of an electrical wave can actually create sound or voices in your head. If you just go to YouTube and look up Spark Gap Speaker, that's Spark, S-P-A-R-K, next word gap, G-A-P, and then the word speaker, the thing you listen to music through. You will see through a Tesla coil type spark gap, they can project any type of sound through that electrical discharge that is occurring. But go ahead, Jeffrey.
Yeah, so I've been the victim of these attacks for 2 years now, and I got to say something. Most people are so clueless about what's happening right now that it's frightening beyond my ability to put into words. What I believe is going to happen this year, or most likely this year, there's going to be some sort of open contact with very human-looking ETs. And what they've been doing for thousands of years and what they're doing right now intensely is that they're upping the attacks, the intensity to remove people that they don't want here when they arrive, because certain people are more of a threat to them than others. Okay? So they're going to come here. Some of them will appear very docile. They'll look very human. They'll most likely come bearing gifts of knowledge. They'll try to manipulate people. And the problem we have here is that a lot of people are going to fall for it. And these things are torturing children, they're torturing people all over the world, and they are using these attacks. A lot of people I know of right now are being tortured. I know other people have been killed as a result of these attacks. These beings have physically entered my room. They've told me to end my life more times than I can even remember.
Did they tell you how to end it?
No, they haven't said how to end it, but they've typically said to jump. That's typically what they've said. I've seen the human-looking types. Charles Hall referred to the tall whites. They look a lot like the human hybrid tall whites that he referred to. You can't tell the difference between them and us. I've seen the standard grays. I've even seen the reptilians. I'm not an abductee per se. They've just entered my room, so I've seen them in that respect. But most of these attacks, like I've saying, are done remotely. These things are cowards to the extreme. 2/3 of the day, I'm basically being cooked alive with microwaves, and the doctors can't do anything. I've suffered nerve damage. Yeah, they just want me gone, so my family's been taking care of me. But I'm very vocal about this, and they don't like it. So they've been upping the attack, and I refuse to stop until they stop, but they're not going to, obviously.
Have you met any new friends lately, or had any new neighbors that seem to have a lot in common with you?
Yeah, no, I have not had. I don't have any neighbors in the vicinity that have anything in common with me, but I know other targeted individuals. And what these ETs are doing is this is the Great Pretender. You know, it's a lot like another disease called the Great Pretender. They use any fear the person has against them. So people will start to think that people at work are following them around. They'll think the government's after them.
All right,
this,
Jeffrey, we got a question from the chat room from
Sure.
Sky. They want to know what threat do you think you pose to these powers that be that are attacking?
Okay, well, they're ETs. That's my strong belief, without almost any doubt. They're ETs, and they're just telling me that they don't want people here with a certain characteristic of the soul. That's what they've been. But they mix lies with the truth. So, to be quite honest with you, I don't exactly know what it is that they dislike about me so much.
I think Dorriebar could actually help answer that.
Sure.
Yeah, it's resistance. What they don't like is that you're willing to speak out even in the face of fear and danger. So what you need to do, this is what I do, get yourself a 40 cal and just stay up all night, wait for them, and then just like one night I saw some lights. I live in the Northwest, in the foothills of the Cascades, and off in the distance I could see in the woods there was some kind of ship.
That's just insane. A 40 cal against some aliens with high-tech weaponry.
Yeah, they're not. They know what I'm doing all the time. They're monitoring. You see, what a lot of people don't realize is that almost all of us.
What I'm saying is you go right out with a name of your ship and a 40 cal. They haul ass. I proved it. Go ahead.
Yeah, the thing is, though, these things, more or less, most of us, all of us, almost everybody is hooked up to it like a cosmic matrix. They have us all hooked up to a bioorganic computer, because they have cloaking technologies. So a lot of them are right now, like in the atmosphere, or outside the Earth's atmosphere, hovering around in an invisible spectrum, and they're monitoring a lot of people's thoughts. So they know exactly what I'm doing. So if I even attempted to do that, they'd probably think it's funny. So there's nothing much I can do other than just inform people, because they're regardless of how scary they seem, they're actually very cowardly. That's
Here's
what
I gotta go against what you're saying as far as the aliens doing this. I agree with the weaponry, but just like we were speaking about a little bit ago, how Bush brought in the Patriot Act 1 and 2, within those writings, those executive orders were also doctrine on putting plainclothes military, army reserves and such on the streets, plainclothes style, for counterterrorism measures, right? So that's why I asked you if you had any new neighbors trying to become your friends or anything. Because
I know. I've heard this from other targeted individuals.
Close to 50,000 of them out there, man.
Yeah, the problem is, though, is that a lot of the targeted individuals don't want to come out and speak about the ET experiences that they've had in conjunction with these remote microwave attacks, because they're already dancing on razor blades, because most people won't believe. I mean, already talking about the former is hard enough for people to believe. If you bring ETs into it,
the ones actually attacking, I think, are government agents, and possibly not even Americans.
Brian, what's the caller's name?
The caller's name is Jeffrey, and we've been joined by Noreen.
Hi, Noreen.
Hey, you guys. Hi. Very interesting topic. I just kind of caught in the midstream of it, but I kind of got the gist of it. Very, very interesting. Is it Jeffrey that's speaking? It's really interesting.
Yes, Jeffrey. I need to ask you a question, honey. Can you hear me?
Yep.
I am Dory. Yeah. I know this is going to kill you, because I know it's going to change your whole perspective in life. I'm sure this is going to happen to you. It happened to me. Actually, you have free will. Did you know that? Even when you come to this planet, you have free will. And actually, some of us decide to get probed, and, we're part of them, whatever group that you're from, and they take you, but your perception in your subconscious sees it as something awful. But there's another side to this.
I've heard about that before.
There's another side to this, though. Military. Okay, the military do awful things to us. So
yeah, the problem with all that though is that this is all old stuff. I mean, people think we've been born in this century. This is the be all and end all.
No, absolutely not.
No, these ETs have been using the same technology for thousands of years. I mean, this is so old.
They're more astute now, but yes, they've been using them for thousands of years. Don't forget though, you have free will. It's a free will planet. No one's going to crucify you, take you, abuse you, or do anything else without your own permission. Remember that. Whether you remember the permission days or you don't, and most of us don't remember because we come here with amnesia for a reason to learn something. And then you're on the karmic wheel.
I appreciate that you're trying to help, and I've heard all of these ideas before. I've heard that this is a school, and this is a school for souls and spirits to be tested by the forces of darkness and light. The problem I have here, though, is that they're torturing children. I know of children that are being tortured, so it's very hard for me to rationalize that.
Well, you're thinking, like I said, now you're talking either another species or you're talking military. Yes, I can see the military torturing everybody. I don't have a problem with that.
As in heaven, as on earth. That means
right,
we're
but
all
I
born
see
dead already.
Anything that is not, terrestrial, are terrestrial.
Yeah.
There's terrestrial,
This
non-terrestrial.
is my fear. Yeah, this is my fear, though, because these things that are doing this to me, I mean, I have been hammered so badly, I can't even put it into words.
Do you know how to take care of it, though? Did anybody help you?
Yeah, no, I've been taking care. Yeah, I've been coping the best I can, but my fear is that they're going to show up at some point because they mix lies with the truth, and my fear is that people are actually going to greet them with warmth after the same group has been torturing.
But that's a program, honey. That's not real, my love. I'll tell you what. Yeah. Do me a favor. Do you listen to Carrie Cassidy or like Coast to Coast or any kind of shows like that last for like an hour and 52 minutes or 2 hours, right? Do me a favor. Play that on your stereo or on your flat screen, on your computer. Play that in the background, right? Mm-hmm. And then go into your Zen. Go into your sleep or your theta. Have you practiced that?
Yeah.
Have you been to all the levels now? Okay, you practice all the levels, right?
I've been practicing all of that. It's just what I'm getting at here is that I strongly believe from what I've seen and what I've been told and what I've experienced is that there is going to be some sort of public event in which their presence is made public, and my fear is that people are going to fall for it.
That's not going to happen. Not in this lifetime. That's all propaganda. That's BS, quite frankly. That's not going to happen. Yeah. It's never going to happen. It's been here for thousands of years. They show themselves to only certain people. But don't forget free will, like I taught you. Free will. You know free will, right? So play something in the background so your consciousness will come back to that. So if you're getting taken, then your consciousness will always go back to whatever radio show, whatever you're listening to in the background. Music, whatever it is, your favorite song list. Play it over and over again. So that you could always bring your consciousness back to that, and then you'll see who they really are. And you have to ask them, who are you? And they'll tell you. You're still in the fear mode. You don't see who they are. You don't know who's getting you. And you think you're getting taken. That's your consciousness that's changing it backwards.
Well, no, I'm not getting taken. I'm suffering the same attacks that all the other people are.
Who would attack you? And what are they attacking you for? Do you know?
Well, no, like I said, they're master manipulators, and they mix lies with the truth. So they say that they just don't want people like myself here, and they're doing this to other people I know personally that I know.
That's not true. Children. It doesn't make it. Listen to me. Children are recycled humans or souls. So children are just old souls. You're not looking like a baby. You're looking at an old soul, basically. They're probably older than you and me.
Yeah, I know, but what I'm trying to tell you here, and that I don't think you seem to be understanding, is that these things are literally ruthless. They literally kill people on a regular basis.
How can you get killed if you're, you can't get killed.
That's what I'm trying to get across here. Like, this is what I'm saying to you. If this happens, people are so clueless right now. If this actually happens...
Why are you worried about the people so much?
Yeah, I don't believe they get killed. You're immortal. There's no way they can kill you.
How's your family and friends, your inner circle doing?
Oh, no, I mean, they're fine. I mean, my inner circle is fine. I mean, my family's very supportive, but what I'm getting at here is that these things, what I'm trying to get across is quite simple, is that they're literally ruthless, and they're attacking people I know who are attempting to help other people. Like, they're attacking people who have extremely high vibrations, and are extremely positive people. So there isn't any sort of one coping mechanism that fits all. These things adapt to whatever you try to do to cope with it. That's what I'm trying to get at here. So I'm just saying we're looking at a pretty nasty confrontation if this ever happens.
It's World War III, man. I mean,
right. Well, let's get back onto that. Let's get back onto the big stuff that's going on, not the microcosm, but the macrocosm.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to wipe us out because the Earth needs recycling, and they're going to start over again. And once we get a little restless, they give us a little technology again, and we think, oh, we're so smart, we developed this, and blah, blah, blah. We get restless again. They give us an industrial revolution. We get restless again, so forth and so on. A new epoch goes, the grand flood again, or the grand burning from the sun, or whatever form, scorch and burn, whatever form of recycling the Earth needs to get good topsoil back up there with minerals and all that in there, instead of all this depleted Earth that we're living on right now. Trying to genetically modify everything just to be somewhat sustainable while creating all kinds of disease. And then there's people fighting wars over it all because they're money hungry and greed. And that's always going to be the base of all evil, alien or not. It's greed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We lost Wingman, but what say you, Noreen?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just kind of listening.
Your mic sounds awesome, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, as you know, I got a new Dell and everything, laptop. Basically, I'm going to say my feeling, Jeffrey, is, I can feel what you feel, because I think what you're feeling is kind of like an intense, what do you call it? Kind of like a conglomeration of what many of us are feeling. So, you're not alone in that way. I mean, I understand your experience is your own. And I just joined in with this, so bear with me. I just kind of caught on to the last part of what you were saying, but from what little I heard of you, it just sounds like a lot of us are experiencing some of these strange energies, whether they be in the form of what you're saying with the beings, or, in some cases it could be what, if you don't mind me saying, Dory, what you experience when you go to the market, or any of us in our dream states or non-dream states, just energies. It's definitely amplifying. So I feel that what you're saying is definitely not crazy, and to various degrees, many people feel it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think what's happening right now is a modern day Archon attack.
Mm-hmm.
The Greeks called them the Archons, and they're mind parasites. They invade people. They don't respect boundaries. So they've come back now. They've come back with a vengeance right now, and the reason they're attacking so hard is because we are on the precipice of a technological advancement that would be a threat to them, because at some point we're going to detect what they're doing. So they're attacking with ferocity right now. But what I want to ask is, I don't know how many listeners you have on the show, but I was wondering if maybe a thought intention experiment might be of some use, and if only people who want to just put the thought out there that we are aware of what you're doing and we demand that you stop, and that we'll hold you accountable for it if there's ever some sort of confrontation down here.
Well, Jeffrey, I got to ask you, what's your position on Gaza and over 500 Palestinians killed? 25% of them, according to a UN official, have been children under 10. That's what's really going on right now. I'm all with your.
How do you know, though, Jacker? Unless you were there.
Well, there's too many people that are there that are recording it.
So we've got lots of footage of the same acts. So it couldn't be a set, in other words.
We've got bombs hitting apartment buildings.
Well, I have no control over that. You see, I'm in the West, so all I can do is look in horror and just see the madness of civilization, taking place before our eyes. So that's all I can do. But I'm just talking about I'm being attacked in a different way,
Well, I know you're being attacked, but that's not actually a 2,000-pound bomb going off in your house, wiping out members of the same family.
It's a different experience. Although I got to be honest,
we're going to a break in a few minutes.
I think
stick around, Jeffrey.
Okay.
But what I want to do is I want to play kind of a relevant clip here to take us into the break, and everybody go get yourself a refreshment. But pay attention to this and think about what Jeffrey's saying. So here we go.
Most paths towards financial freedom are gone. The stock market, the housing market, and small businesses are collapsing. The job market is the worst since the Great Depression. Entire industries and professions are being wiped away. Life savings and equity are gone just when you need it the most. I have identified 5 stages of awakening. Most paths towards financial freedom are gone. The stock market, the housing market, and small businesses are collapsing. The job market is the worst since the Great Depression. Entire industries and professions are being wiped away. Life savings and equity are gone just when you need it the most. We are under a tremendous amount of stress, mental, financial, political, emotional, and even spiritual stress. We know that this is not the life we are meant to have, and yet it seems that there is no way out. Every inch of your body is telling you something is really wrong. Every way out seems to bring us right back to where we started, trapped. As a country, we are economically bankrupt, intellectually bankrupt, morally bankrupt, spiritually bankrupt. Our families are broken, our politicians are deaf, our companies are corrupted, our military overstretched, our budgets are blown out, our manufacturing is gutted, our borders are wide open, and nothing seems to turn back the tide. Now more than ever, people are starting to see that things that cannot go on forever won't. We cannot go into debt forever. Debt is rising on all levels of our life. Federal, trade, state, local, personal, corporate, student, mortgage, credit card, automotive debt is at all-time highs. We cannot have 100 trillion of unfunded liabilities. We cannot keep 0% interest rates and print money without destroying the dollar. We cannot continue to have rising health, food, and fuel costs. We cannot have endless, senseless wars and over 700 American military bases overseas. We cannot have 85 million baby boomers retiring at the same time to start taking from the generational Ponzi scheme. We cannot have manufacturing shipped overseas, 20% plus unemployment, and 45 million people on food stamps. We cannot have wide open borders with 25 million illegal immigrants. We cannot have half of Americans obese and 27 million Americans on antidepressants. We cannot continue to have banker bailouts, high-frequency trading, or flash crashes. We cannot have just-in-time delivery that only allows 3 days' worth of food and 7 days' worth of fuel. We cannot continue having a failing schools indoctrinating our kids. We are living at a unique period in human history, and all things that cannot go on forever won't. This period will end, and it will result in an unimaginable upheaval in every aspect of your lives. In fact, I'm willing to bet that if you're here right now, it already has. The bad news is, it is unfortunately going to get much worse before it gets any better. The good news is that you are here today, and it is not too late to become aware of the big picture and start preparing to thrive and not just survive. Now more than ever, people are starting to see that things that cannot go on forever won't. We cannot go into debt forever. Debt is rising on all levels of our life. Federal, trade, state, local, personal, corporate, student, mortgage, credit card, automotive debt is... The dollar collapse will be the single largest event in human history. This will be the first event that will touch every single living person in the world. All of human activity is controlled by money, and no money has been so prevalent than the dollar. Our wealth, our work, our food, our government, even our relationships are affected by money. No money in human history has had as much reach as the dollar. It is the de facto world currency. All other currency collapses will pale in comparison to this big one. All the other currency crises have been regional, and there have been other currencies for people to grasp onto during the crisis. This collapse will be global, and it will bring down not only the dollar, but all other fiat currencies, as they fundamentally are no different. With the collapse of currencies, it will lead to the collapse of all paper assets.
Right, you're listening to The Gray Zone. Stick around, we'll be right back after this break.
Radio at freedomslips.com, and we'll be right back after this message.
Who owns you? If you're not in control, then someone else is. Join me, Ivy West, for Voices on the Wind, Saturday from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern in Studio A. I discuss government, health, metaphysics, suppressed science, universal mysteries, little-known incredible facts, alternative energies, and even more than you can imagine. Won't you join us on Revolution Radio Saturdays from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern for Voices on the Wind with me, Ivy West.
There are lives in the balance, people under fire, children at the cannons.
Because if your head's in the sand, your tail is a target.
Hi everybody, it's me, the Fetch, host of Inside the Eye Live. Before the Sunday mainstream media political pundit talk shows, there's Inside the Eye Live, where we break down some of the weekly mainstream media talking points before the talking points even get aired. Add in some entertaining stories, weather, cats, intriguing and informative guests, and you get one of the most listened to Saturday morning streaming media political talk shows going today. And it's all right here on our flagship station, Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com. So join me, the Fetch, for Inside the Eye Live every Saturday morning at 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern. It is truly intelligent media for the politically aware.
I have worked with the CIA, NSA, Templars, and Bilderbergers. Now I work for you. My show will disclose secrets of science and esoteric knowledge. Join me, Stephen D. Kelly, for 2 hours every Thursday night at 10 o'clock Eastern Time on freedomslips.com, Revolution Radio, Studio A. You can also listen to previous shows by going to youtube.com/Free Revolution Radio.
Anti-aircraft guns went into action against unidentified aircraft in the Los Angeles area shortly after 3 a.m. Pacific Wartime this morning.
We are far stronger than we were 10 weeks ago.
Oh, General Quarters, all hands at your battle stations.
Be nervous, don't you, told. I'll do the mastermind around here.
You who have not seen it do not know what hell looks like from the top.
Well, check it out every Tuesday and Saturday on Revolution Radio. It's a double dose of the internationally recognized renegade military historian Douglas Dietrich.
You'll stay right where you are until I tell you to move out.
Yeah, that's right. Tuesdays from 10 to midnight Eastern Time. Join Douglas Dietrich as he exposes the truth in hidden history on his show Critical Omissions. And then our human weapon of mass destruction is back once again to take your calls on Saturday Night Firing Lines. Both from 10 to 12 p.m. Eastern Time. Only on Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com.
This is Thomas, a.k.a. a Mad Painter. I'd like you to join me Monday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Open Canvas. Don't forget to bring an open mind.
Yes, folks, that's right. Bring an open mind to an open canvas. Again, that is Monday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern. UFOs to government corruption. This is Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com. You don't need to expect us. We're already here. Revolution Radio. You're listening to Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com, 100% listener-supported radio, and now we return you to your host.
Welcome to the TheGrayZone Roundtable, Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com. 100% listener-supported radio. No corporate ties, corporate duct tape dictating our freedom of speech. It shall remain that way as long as we are supported by you. Join us, 347-688-2902. Enter the Gray Zone.
Hello, hello.
Dance.com.
Hi, everyone. It's Dorriebar, and I'm filling in for Wingman tonight. And you are at Revolution Radio, obviously, and you're at the Gray Zone tonight. Also, don't forget, we're 100% listener-supported radio. That means you. Everything that comes out of you comes to our radio station to make everything happen. All the servers, electricity, and everything else. And we so appreciate you. Without you, we have nothing. Oh, and by the way, don't forget that Hawk has his party this weekend, the 26th and 27th in Kansas. If you guys can make it, hop on down. If you look on revolutionradio.com, look to the left, and you'll see where the party's happening and all the information, because I don't know, quite frankly, off my own head. But there's also a call-in number. It's area code 347-688-2902. I'll say it again, 347-688-2902. Don't forget to call in. We're having fun tonight. And I am going to be Rectify's Wing Girl, because Wingman had to go back to sleep, which I don't blame him. He's in another time zone, so I totally appreciate it. We also have Noreen Helphand on the line, who I adore. We have Nick. We did have Jacker, and I think... Oh, we still do have Jacker. He's still here. And then we had the caller, Jeffrey, but I think he dropped, so we'll see what happens, and who's going to call back next? Who knows?
Yeah, call back in, Jeffrey. Nick, how you doing?
Let's go to Gaza. This is the important stuff.
All right, let's go to Gaza.
Let's go to Gaza. Let's finally do this. We're 118.
Let's do a flotilla, hijacker.
Right, we're 1.8 million people are in an open-air prison system. They're not allowed to leave. They're not allowed to come and go. There's sanctions on it, on their water, food, everything. And they're being bombed now with 2,000-pound bombs. Women and children are dying. something like 560 Palestinians have died so far. Up to 25% of them have been children under the age of 10. We now know that there's no such thing as Hamas. There are no Hamas Palestinians firing rockets into Israel. These are known facts. Israel has bored in. They have replaced all of the Hamas members, the true Palestinian Hamas members, with Israeli agents, British agents, American agents, Mossad agents. They are the Hamas. They have bored in with sophisticated tunnels. There's footage of this. Just take a look at some of the footage of Hamas coming through the tunnels, supposedly going into Israel. They're reinforced concrete, very well developed tunnels that come from Israel into Gaza. They come up. They release these bottle rockets, which do no damage. One Israeli has been killed through these bottle rockets. Of all the thousands of these bottle rockets they've fired, like Israel is going to be destroyed by a nuclear weapon fired from a bottle rocket from Hamas. No. These are Israelis agents. They are keeping... Think about it, people. If you're getting hit with 2,000-pound bombs, if you're getting apartment buildings collapsed and people buried alive in between concrete where they know basically they're going to die.
It's like a cop planting drugs on a suspect, but 100,000 times worse.
Exactly.
We've been joined also by Heather. So Heather, after a hijacker gets his 20 seconds.
Yeah, let me finish here. So we have Mossad agents posing as Hamas, firing these rockets, which gives Israel the justification. They put it all over the mainstream news that, it would be like Mexico firing rockets into your home. No, it's not like that. What's going on? This is all set up. This is some sort of satanic ritual abuse type, I don't know what it is. But now we're finding out that the Jews, they're the victims. The Jews are the victims. It's the Khazarians, the ones that came out of Khazar, the Khazarian Empire in the 700 AD. They were Khazarians. They became the gypsies that spread through Europe, the nomad people. They are not the Jews, and they are what's in control of Israel right now, like the Bible says. They say they are Jews, but they are not. They are the synagogue of Satan. So you don't even have Jews genetically. This is by Jews themselves. Genetic
just
science.
like the majority of Christians, they don't even know they're not true Christians. They're just raised by their parents who most likely were not true Christians either. So the tradition goes on and on, just like a ghetto environment does with their children. So you can't blame the entire group of them because there's ignorance in every group.
No, they're taking advantage of the Jews. The Jews are the victims. These Khazarians have taken over Israel. These imposters. Like just go to Max Egan, thecrowhouse.com, and you'll find out really what's going on right now. This is one big satanic, demonic ruse.
Well, doesn't it go back to the Brits? Because aren't they the ones that gave that land over to the released Jewish peoples after the war?
They split up all these kingdoms. They took the Ottoman Empire and they split it up into a dozen factions. Then they gave some Bedouin tribe called the Saudis, Saudi Arabia, and they backed them up. They gave them the oil. You trade the oil and the petrodollar, and we're all good to go. And now finally they're running out of oil. And so guess who's the number one producer of natural gas and oil today?
The United States.
The United States. That's right. You think it's Iran? No. You think it's Russia? No. It's now the United States.
They went out and milked everybody else and kept ours as a greedy tactic.
Right. And now they want to go back to the land the Khazarians came from, which guess what? Guess where that's from? Guess what's going on? Guess where the land of the Khazarians, where they came from, who supposedly they were of the Canaanite.
Ukraine, the Ukrainians.
The Ukraine. You got it right, Maura. You got it right. Somebody else, go ahead, drop in here. But that's what I want to talk about, the big stuff. Big stuff.
Hey, well, hijacker, I have a friend who lives in Crimea right now. Is that part of? I mean, do you think that he would have any kind of perspective in what you're saying?
And where you're talking about?
Well, I'm sent the contact to rectify. I know him from probably Stephen Kelly's show. He lives in Crimea, so they only get a connection every once in a while in Russia.
Pronounce his name? Constantine. Okay.
Constantine, yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, you want to know about Crimea? Well,
he wants to join us and give us information.
Okay, fine. Yeah.
Go ahead and just tell him to accept my contact request, and we'll get a man from Crimea on the phone.
Cool.
Yeah, Crimea. By the way, they found the oldest pyramids. Why are there pyramids all over the earth? Why are they in China, Russia, Antarctica, Egypt, South America? They're all over the place. What, these pyramids? And now we're finding out that the oldest pyramids that go back millions of years are in Crimea. Go ahead.
I think the pyramids were a collection of a worldwide power grid using just the natural ambient energy of the ether. 0 point. Constantine from Crimea, welcome.
Hi, Constantine.
You hear me?
Hi. Thank you for coming on right now and discussing these issues with us because we need your insight.
Speak closer to your mic, Constantine.
Okay, ask me and I'll be answering you.
Okay, yeah, it's a little bit better.
Hello?
Okay, can you say that again? Because we couldn't really hear you.
Go ahead, speak, Constantine. Go ahead, go.
Okay, 1 second.
What is the
He was having a really slow connection, I know.
Yeah, I bet. What is the situation like in your local surrounding area right now, Constantine?
No, okay.
Bummer.
No.
Come on, pray to the sky gods, everybody.
Rectify. They chopped him up pretty good. He's not going to.
I see what they're doing there. What I'm going to do?
Try to stay on the call. Maybe it'll ease up or stuff. In a little bit. Maybe.
You sound like we're in the tunnel too. I don't know if you hear that. In fact.
Yeah, they're messing with the whole call.
Yes, they are, definitely.
Are you hear me?
Yes.
A little bit.
Yeah, there you go.
No, okay. In fact, in Crimea, all is well. Now here we step by step become a part of Russia. It is of local out.
Everybody else mute up.
We have some problem because of this period when we came.
They chopped him up too bad, Rectify. He's not going to come through. He's just going to be, it's going to be every 5-10 seconds. It's not going to work. Go ahead.
Okay. I must say what Ukraine problem with human rights, what we have problem with food, with water. We haven't anything, we haven't any problem about which lying Ukrainian media and global media. And we don't need Ukrainian army.
Yeah, Rectify. They've chopped them up too much.
All right, here's what I'm going to do, Constantine. I'm going to hit the hang up button, but as soon as I do, you're going to see a green join call button. Just go ahead and hit that again. We're going to establish a new connection, and we'll hope for the best.
You know what? Did he say that they needed food and water?
Yeah, he said they're having problems with food and water. He spoke of Prussia, a rejoining of Russia, I'm assuming. I did hear Israel in there somewhere.
Me too.
Very difficult. Hopefully he gets back with us, but
He was saying before he had to establish a connection. He's just barely. It's getting a stronger connection. He finally got on the internet.
good. Well, let's hope for the best. I'm going to let him know that he can type us with some, simple messaging texts also, and then we can just translate through his text to the radio. That might help if that's our last resort. So, yeah, that's interesting to be able to talk to someone in the middle of a war zone.
Yeah, well, let's go back to Gaza. Okay, so we got, 5, 6...
Nick really hasn't had anything to say yet.
Yeah, maybe 7 people on the call. I just want to ask any of you all, if you're firing bottle rockets at Israel, and they're dropping 2,000-pound bombs, and they got tanks in Gaza leveling block after block after block, what if you're in the organization of Hamas, are you really going to fire any more bottle rockets? Think about it. Go ahead.
No, if you want to fool a bunch of sheep, then yeah, for the media's purpose, so everybody goes, oh yeah, they're the intimidators, without having a brain large enough to realize that today's warfare, especially Mossad, which is the CIA of Israel, their motto is, through deception we shall create war, which is basically what a false flag event involves, is using your own troops in enemy territory, pretending to be the enemy, and to create provocation, to give the excuse for the actual provocateur to come in looking like they're defending themselves. And the cops do the same thing now militarily with protests in the streets here on the state soil. So it's what is it? Habeas corpus, or it's just been thrown away, basically. Not having military on your streets patrolling your own people.
I have to cut in just really quick, rectify and say that they're good on food and water, he said.
Okay, good. But yeah, as far as the Ukraine and Russia, mainland Russia goes, I think that's a total different story than what's going on with Israel and Gaza. They might be connected somewhere by one of the tentacles.
Yeah, Israel is a microcosm of what's going on in the whole world. That's almost certainly, in my opinion, what caused World War I, World War II. It's all about, banker control. If they can't control it, they want to blow it up.
Right, and then Halliburton comes in and rebuilds it. There's jobs again. There's less people to feed. And everything starts over. It's just one big grand cycle. And yeah, it's the bankers, because they pay for both sides of the war. If there's 10 people fighting each other, they're paying every one of those 10 people to fight each other. They don't care. It's the bankers that win at the end. That's the only winner of any war.
Yeah, when they run out of people who stand up to them, but they don't control a certain group, they'll send their agents in that group to pretend to be them. That's why Germany was a perfect enemy. Because unless he speaks, any German could be right in front of you, could be your next door neighbor. Unless they speak and show their accent, you wouldn't know. And that's how they disguise their enemy, by making them us, But what I wanted to come in on was that video, that clip you played just at the end of the first hour.
Okay, I am...
we got Constantine back. Sorry, Nick. Go ahead, sir. We sound a lot better now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me say again. We have in Crimea food, water, all is okay here, and our supermarket have a different kind.
I think he's saying supermarkets have half of a different kind of food. Maybe they're expecting a new culture.
No, it is because Ukrainian media and some global media sharing lie what we haven't food, we haven't.
Dang. It's just not going to work.
And our Crimean people, time to time, in social networks, in Facebook, for example, they published photos from supermarkets, in order to show what we have all. And
so everything is good. The people are taking care of each other, but the media is trying to project that you're all in dire straits and that your shelves are empty. Is that correct?
No. It is total lie, and goal of this lie is to justify possible Ukrainian invasion to Crimea. I want to say, Crimean people, we fight against Ukrainian army, we fight against army of Kiev junta. If they try to come to Crimea.
Well, now wait a minute. What are you saying? Are you saying that the Ukrainian people are rising up through the junta, the government of Crimea, that's made alliance with Mother Russia? Go ahead.
No, you see, in Crimea, here live a Ukrainian blood. I have Russian blood, and I have another blood in my origin. People are mixed here, and all people, all from all nations, we vote for Russia. We choose to be with Russia, and nothing can't to change. To force us to come again to Ukraine. We be fight for our freedom and for our right to be part of Russia. Ukraine now. I have hope we will liberate this territory from fascists, and Ukraine be part. I believe, I have hope, and I will do all my best for this. And most part of people from Ukraine will do it.
He's breaking up pretty good, Rectify. It's not good radio. I mean...
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to get what I can from it, though, because it's kind of exclusive. We don't get this often.
Right.
You hear...
Hey, Constantine, if you click the little bubble in your Skype window, it's a little blue bubble or a white bubble. It's a second icon. If you click that, you can chat with me, and one of us can read what you're trying to say, because you're breaking up very badly.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You get about 4 or 5 seconds inward, and then it breaks up for about 5 seconds.
Yeah. Connection be better.
Yeah, we can go. Let's do Ukraine, and really, what sucked off most of the publicity oxygen of the mainstream media is what the downing of the flight Malaysian flight 17 with the 298 people. It was 295, and then all of a sudden the story came through. Oh, we forgot about the 3 infants that weren't recorded. So now it's from 295 to 298 once we calculate in the infants. When the fact of the matter is, we got video footage of the impact, the actual impact zone of that plane going down, and those were decomposed bodies. Somebody filled that plane up with dead bodies, dead as much as 7 days ago, and they crashed into the ground. And now we have this big thing about, they're desecrating the bodies. They're removing the bodies. They're coming up with, in other words, the whole thing has gone sideways.
How do you know that?
Go
Were you
ahead.
there? Well,
Yeah.
how do you know that? Were you there? No, you
No.
only know that because what you read. You know nothing.
No, I've got
It's the same old BS they've been telling us all the time. Number one, if it was going to crash like that, the bodies would be frozen and they'd be smashed into the ground in a million pieces.
I got a story here.
No, actually, I've got the footage.
Check this out, Jack.
How do you know it's real, though? I mean, come on. It's like NASA with the moon
This
landing.
is
We
more
thought it was
relevant to kind of side with Jack
You
here.
can't see so much footage from different people
Right.
in which you can see the landscape. You can see the nature of the environment.
I know, and the passports were so crisp and clear right there on top of the whole crowd. Oh, nothing
most people
happened
don't
to
even
them.
know.
Right.
All the passports, like 9/11, they were right there, those
Right.
passports.
Right out of the trunk.
Pristine.
Green screens, green screens. Check this out. This is blacklisted news. A tweet bot caught the Russian government editing flight MH17 Wikipedia info. Okay, this is the source is Gizmodo. Remember at Congress edits the tweet bot that alerts whenever a Wikipedia article is edited from a government IP address? In other words, when someone goes in and edits a Wikipedia page, which is the new way of burning books, by the way, you know, that's how they change history now. They allow anybody in to add their own BS or what have you and change the facts up or the history. But, the Congress edits bot was designed to record whenever there was something on Wikipedia that was changed by a government IP address. Anybody in any government sector, right? Well, there's a Russian version now. And it just uncovered some pretty drastic edits to Wikipedia article that mentions flight MH17, originating from a Russian government IP address. As the Telegraph reports, at RUGovEdits tweeted, that's their bot, tweeted that a computer user from within the All Russia State Television and Radio Broadcasting Company, VHTRK, edited the Russian language version of the Wikipedia entry about the Malaysian Airlines passenger jet shot down over Ukraine yesterday. The original version of the Wikipedia article listing civil aviation accidents stated that MH17 had been shot down, quote, by terrorists of the self-proclaimed Donetsk People's Republic with Buk system missiles, which the terrorists received from the Russian Federation, unquote. Emphasis added. The edits originated from the government-owned computer changed the article to read, quote, the plane, flight MH17, was shot down by Ukrainian soldiers, unquote. Again, emphasis added. At Russian government edits alerted the public with a tweet that says, translated to quote, Wikipedia article, list of aircraft accidents in civil aviation has been edited by RTR, which is another name for VGTRK, the All Russia State Television and Radio Broadcasting Company. So yeah, someone in the government that works for their media went into the Wikipedia of the event of MH17's shoot down or crash or what have you, and changed it from one finger pointing at one people's to another. And they got busted by a bot, so.
Yeah, well, no, we know what happens, Rectify. We pretty much know that the flight that 2 months ago, the Malaysian flight that disappeared 2 months ago, basically crashed into the Ukraine.
Well, my point is nothing is real unless you, even if, okay,
we gotta
trust nothing you hear and you trust only half of what you see.
Right. No, I agree with that, Rectify. But we now know, we know how to think. We know really what the game is. And there was 108 microbiologists that was the top AIDS researchers on that particular plane. They took that plane, they disappeared it. It went to some underground base where they're going to use these microbiologists to use plagues on us. And then what they substituted in its place is that plane, that 370 plane that went missing 2 months ago. They crashed that into the ground. There was no shoot down. They actually guided it right into the ground, full of dead bodies. You can see the footage yourself. You can go and you can take a look at right after the plane goes into the ground. There's footage out there. Somebody took their cell phone. They actually walked through the debris field. And even my daughter, who's a nurse, I was actually looking at it the other night. And she came in and she got upset saying, Dad, what are you looking at all that stuff for? And I said, well, these people were just shot down. And she started looking at the footage of the dead bodies. And she goes, those people didn't die in an accident. That's rigor mortis. I know what that is. And she took a look at split thighs, no blood, bulging out eyes. They stuffed that whole plane full of dead bodies. And now what do we hear on the media? They're desecrating the bodies. They're going in, and the thugs are removing the bodies and stomping on the crash site, desecrating it, trashing up the site. So we know what happened. And then all of a sudden, right after this happened, we get the Gaza war with extermination of 1.8 million people in Gaza, bombs going off in houses, apartment buildings, hospitals, that suck up all the oxygen. We can see what's going on. It's plain and simple to see. Over.
It's the bankers. We don't need banks. I want someone to call in 347-688-2902 and tell me why you need a bank. And if you have that much money, then tell me why you're so greedy.
Well, banks actually do facilitate a smooth running commercial system when they're properly run. It's just another back door for criminals to get in and corrupt the system. That's why I say a pegged currency really doesn't help at all if you get the same powers in control of the commodities that your currency is pegged to. It all depends on whether or not you want to cause harm to your fellow man.
So we're going to talk about, Nick, we're going to talk about banks versus true reality of what's happening in the Ukraine.
No, as a matter of fact,
people being killed. I mean, come on.
Well, the thing is, how are they killing those people? They got the banks to suck all the money, all the wealth and resources out so they can build the bombs and blow up people. So yes, I mean, this is all interconnected. I did have a comment. Can't pull it out of my thoughts right now. There's so many things that we can go on here.
We got a half an hour. Let's kill some time, Nick.
Man, I don't need to kill some time. They're substituting planes.
I mean, talk fast. Let's get some stuff out.
Now that article you just read, Rectify, did it? It came from a Russian government IP address, but it also implicated the Russian government, didn't it?
Right, and it could be also being hacked, and it could be someone somewhere else getting in there, a hacker.
I mean, just think about it, Rectify. What the great and mighty king of Mother Russia, Vladimir Putin, why would he shoot? Why would he willfully shoot a civilian airliner out of the air?
I've got pictures of him, the Bushes, Cheney, they're all on the same road.
They are kind of, actually they're competing factions.
They have the compass in the square on their road. Yeah. They're all in ritual. They're all together, kissing hands, hugging.
They're trying.
I'm telling you, Rectify.
Nothing. I don't believe anything anymore.
No, Putin is defending the Christian church. He's doing what he needs to do for his people.
It's just a balance, man. They're shifting the weight from one side of the earth to the other.
This guy, he wants to go back to God.
Well, whatever.
I don't buy it.
Well, yeah. Look, it seems to me also that it seems like Putin is up there trying to stave off the advance of the New World Order. It's one of the last, it is a country they don't seem to control.
He's doing a Yes We Can campaign. Come on.
Well, I'm not saying he's an angel. I'm just saying he doesn't want the type of New World Order that the rest of the world seems to be headed towards.
No, at the very least, he wants to go ahead and take it over. He's got a shot at being the president of the world.
Maybe he had a lot to do with how far it's progressed to begin with.
I think he would just like to preserve Russia for what it is. I think he wants to get back to an independent Russia and call his own shots, and that's what we all want, is to call our own shots in our own lives. And the more localized, rather than all-encompassing, you can make your government, the more power you have over your immediate environment. And so that's kind of what we're all fighting for. Is Putin's fighting for his? We're all fighting for ours. And we don't care about the other guy as long as it's not in my backyard. You can pollute and destroy anything you want, and that attitude has to end.
Look at Putin's poll numbers in Europe. Look at him in America. Look at him in South America.
All of that is side issues. What
I'm saying, Nick, is that Putin is running for president of the world. This cabal, this Bush-Cheney cabal, is over. It's being exposed. Everybody knows about 9/11.
Bush Cheney is just part of the whole agenda. Obama, Bush, Cheney, they're all together. This Republican Democrat is I mean, if people can't see past that yet and see that it's the same two sides of the same coin, that they're just married. The Republicans and Democrats are absolutely married. They're set in concrete. They cannot be separated. Yeah. They need to be just removed and made irrelevant, because they really are irrelevant. And people have to stop saying, "Oh, we'll never get anybody but." I mean, there's more than the two political parties in this universe. My gosh, there's more than America on this planet. Some people have to get over that.
Nick, the Western cartel is going down. They're being exposed through the internet. Putin is the rising star. He's the one backing it up. He's got the poll numbers for him. It looks like he can pull this thing out. He can become president of the world.
Well, again, that's a side issue. That's proselytizing, whatever. And I don't think that's helpful at this point.
What do you mean it's not helpful?
Well, how is it helpful to project that Putin's going to be king of the world?
Okay, Nick, we go 10 seconds. We go 10, 15 seconds. You get 10, 15 seconds.
Just say what you got to say and say it, man.
Go. No, I'm saying Putin's got a chance to pull this thing out. He's got a chance to be president of the world.
Are you convinced that's what he wants?
I really do think that Putin, even though he's of the Canaanite bloodline, the reptilian human hybrid, shapeshifters, these archons, he wants to get back to God. He's taking Jesus' deal.
That's all
He's
speculation.
going back to God.
It's all speculation.
No, it's not speculation.
You have no idea.
Yeah, it is. It's all theater. I'm with Nick, man. I've seen too much theater now in the last decade or so. It's just getting sloppy. I mean, green screens are using on MSNBC, CNN, all these reporters, you see wind blowing in the background and their hair standing still and then claiming they're on the scene. I mean, like, the deception is getting horrible with CGI technology going forward. I can only imagine how bad it's going to be when 3D, media becomes every household. It's going to be pretty gnarly what you think is real and what really is or not. I mean, it's going to be the unveiling of the Matrix, basically, as you find out that you're part of it.
Rectify, I agree with that. But I'm saying is there's a faction within this Canaanite bloodline.
What's the solution, brother? Tell me the solution. We'll keep going on it.
Wait a minute. Rectify. There is a faction within the Canaanite bloodline that do not want to curse their soul with 7 billion dead human beings. They don't want to do it. They're not going to hell. They know they used to be somebody. They don't know what the hell happened to them, but they want to try to make it back to God. Putin is one of those guys. Over and out. Go ahead.
Right on. Repentance is a good thing, and I do believe in it. So, all right, moving on.
Yeah, judging by the guy's actions, I don't see him threatening anybody. I see our government threatening everybody.
Right.
Now, I wanted to say something about Wikipedia. Yes, anybody can put edits on Wikipedia, but they have a panel of trusted people who judge, who inspect those changes. And if the